Hello, beautiful person. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chu, and today we are going to be going over, I got the handy dandy spell book right here. I'll just read it for you. 7 secrets Southside uses to sauce up spectacularly scary trap bangers. I'm going to break that down in a second. I just want to let you know that a lot, if not all of the sounds that we'll be using in the drum section of this can be found for free in my 14 drum kit. It's the best drum kit on the internet. That's not the centerfold drum kit. Check that out if you're interested in just every sound that I've ever used in my placements, every mixer preset that ever got me a placement, whether that was on TV with a big artist or anything else. And then it's just a deeper immersion into my brand. Last thing, check out my Discord, also free, and it's the safest, cleanest Discord in the internet producer community by a country mile. Definitely check that out. So let's go over these 7 steps and then we can jump into it. Step 1 is going to be horror phrasing, and that's going to be this framework that I've developed to create really cool melodies similar to the way Southside does. Step 2 is a layering concept called sonic sorcery. Step 3 is manipulation magic. We'll get into what that means, but it's just going to be a way to develop your melodies just way deeper. Step 4, I think you're gonna like this, is the sorcerer soft clipper. Step 5 is going to be managing percussive energy, very key. Step 6 is going to be the TM88 school of hi-hat programming, another really fun one. And then step 7 is going to be the level 1 tension spell, which is going to be an arrangement concept for our beats. So without too much more talking, let's go ahead and get into it. You guys know by now that I like to start off in FL keys. We're gonna just build a basic ass minor chord. Don't even be proud about it. Don't overthink it. Me personally, I don't like to do stuff like that, right? We can duplicate that minor chord over, and using the concept of tension. So what we can do is we can copy paste those notes and we can use them as an octave. Then we can take this entire thing and we can paste it into our sampler so that we have an outline to use. Let's just make something creepy sounding using the concept of arpeggiation, which is just breaking up this chord into a rhythm that will sound cool. I like that. So the only other thing that I really want to do is to create a few more harmonizing phrases within this. The first thing I'll do is add some bass notes, actually. Okay, so let's duplicate that and then boom. So step 2 is going to be sonic sorcery. And this is just understanding what types of melodies you want to use, what types of sounds you want to use to develop your melody. Let's try to go for like more of a synthetic vibe. Just not so many damn effects on it, like no delay. So let's take this and copy it over. This entire sound selection process, this sonic sorcery thing we're going through, consider it from the scope of me trying to use synthetic elements to make this melody today. It's not really, I might do like 1 acoustic thing or 2 acoustic things, if that, but really we're thinking synths today. Let's see if they got any bass for me. And we can just grab those bass notes in here. And this is why I like to build out the melody right away, because it just makes my job a lot easier moving forward. Yeah. Let's actually clone GMS, right? And then we can layer this fluffy bell, paste it in, and then we can raise this up an octave to give texture to that bell. So I will use the piano as a bass note, which you guys have seen me do a lot lately. So we can get into step 3, which is manipulation magic. So this framework stems from something that I heard Southside say in an interview one time, where he was like, this is more or less what he said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, what I do seems simple, but the thing that people will never be able to imitate is how I use the simple things to create something that sounds complex, because nobody knows what I'm doing in the back end of my FL Studio to get it to sound, like Southside. So, but there are some things we do know, like he uses growth speed, he uses time and pitch manipulation, stuff like that. So we can use those concepts to our advantage. That's my cop out for pads, honestly. That shit just makes it sound so cool. I learned that from EDM production, bro. They're so good at using like time and pitch manipulation to make simple shit sound good. EDM is a really good genre to study. Woo! What I could do, for example, and I do this from time to time, is we could export the entire melody we have right now as something, and then we can work on how we could use that and manipulate it into melody. And that's just like an extra pad or fucking stab that we can use. That's actually crazy. So there's like a little thing you could try doing. Again, I probably wouldn't have, I'm never gonna have like all my melodies playing at the same time in a beat. It would probably be something like this for this section right here. And then let's see what kind of effects I want to add, given that this is how I would want it to sound. We can route all of our melody to a melody bus. Check out the signal flow guide below. And so we're gonna get into step 4, which is the Sorcerer's Soft Clipper. And this is a quick section because you guys know I've been saying it since I started, you know, changing up my content to really focus on the people I actually care about, that you've got to have a soft clipper or brick wall limiter on your master because like loudness is the name of the game. I created a patch the other day that is pretty damn similar to the preset I use in TR5. And so I went ahead and I tossed that in a new folder that I'm working on for the centerfold drum kit. If you do have the centerfold drum kit, like you already know, you're not gonna have to pay for that. You'll just get the update when it comes. You don't know how to use soft clipper, shit like that, I would suggest just fucking learning or making some money to buy it. And then once you do that, you'll be able to understand what goes into it so that you can do things like make your own soft clipping settings. And then that's when you know you really get it. I will not add it to the master yet because I want you to hear what it does to the drum so you can really know that I'm not capping. So we'll move on for a second to step number 5, which is managing percussive energy. Southside is an actual genius in understanding how to be minimal while still being powerful and deliberate in everything he does. And that's really the subtle genius in his production style. So when I say managing percussive energy, I really mean picking your spots to put your heaviest drum sounds while keeping in mind the end goal of your production, of our production, is to get, for the most part, let's stop lying to ourselves, right? To have it be consumable so that, you know, it gains the attention of the public audience. That shit hard right there. Pick your spots, especially I say the kick is a perk. You gotta pick your spots. You gotta pick your spots. Okay, so now we can come back to this preset and we can take a look at what it's going to do to like the overall sound of our beat. So boom, that's the preset. Look at that, man. Crazy, right? Listen to that. That's just crazy to me, right? Boom, that's a loud sample too. Make sure loop points are off. So let's move on to step 6, bro. This is the TM88 School of Hi-Hat Programming. Now, the reason I say this is because I don't talk about this a lot, but TM88 is actually my favorite 808 Mafia producer. He was the most inspirational to me when I was learning how to start producing. Southside was talking about how TM88 had this way of doing hi-hats that Southside didn't used to do. Like Southside is really good at doing those glitchy hi-hats now, but I think there's like multiple places where he's admitted that TM88 was actually kind of the person who put him onto that. Like I'm sure people were doing it, but like TM88 was like one of the pioneers for sure that kind of brought this whole glitchy hi-hat production into the popular mainstream. So they'll create like a second hi-hat that is the same note, same sample and everything. And they'll just clone the instance in FL Studio, and they'll just do a two-step on that for their Pacekeeper. That way they still get the two-step, but they still get all the bounce and texture from having designed like a super trippy, glitchy hi-hat. So now we can get into step 7, which is the level 1 tension spell. Or tension transmutation spell. So that just basically means you take the tension. There's like so much tension that we've created, right? We've built this like 8-bar pattern that's got like maximum potential energy, right? Kinetic energy is when it's moving, right? Fucking, I don't know. Physics was forever ago. I think so. Right? Hella potential energy, but that's also hella chaos. So we need to bring order into it so that we can appropriate the kinetic energy the way we want to. Good stuff. But now we need to arrange it into something that doesn't sound like a clusterfuck, basically. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was one too many. 6 sections is usually good for me. So this is going to be intro, so we don't really need drums. And we've got that bass, which is really nice. We're probably not going to want this accent. I think, yeah, just that is fine. Right, let's start with a bit more melodic tension and then let that go as we drop into the hook. Then this accent is going to be super minimal. We got to turn that up a little bit. Right here is where, like, I'm finally ready to let go of all that tension. And so I'll just take out those hi-hats, really, because that's the thing that is going to give it the most energy. It gives it the most bounce. It gives it a lot of texture in terms of, like, drums, right? Boom. So I might just... So I might, like, let it cut a little bit sooner. Yeah, I think that's good for here. Okay, so you know what else we could do, bro? Just for this last part, bro, instead of like using the pad and doing something goofy, changing the melody again for no reason, we could literally just make this unique and then push it up an octave. Let's see. That's gonna really help with tension, bro. That's gonna be really cool. That's it. In conclusion, let's talk about it. Let's recap it one more time. Step 1 was horror phrasing, and the whole point of that is just using tension to create a catchy, repetitive melody. Step 2 is sonic sorcery, and that's understanding the vibe of your melody so that you can properly layer your melodies. And then step 3 is manipulation magic, and that's using time manipulation and pitch manipulation to add novelty to the melody you've created without having to do any goofy, complex like melody development or counter melody, which is not even a thing, or even trying to create harmony. You can do a lot of that just by understanding how to manipulate your sounds. Step 4 is the Sorcerer Soft Clipper. Go ahead and check out the Centerfold drum kit if you want to grab that preset. There's going to be a bunch more master presets for sure, and probably just a bunch of other cool presets that I'm going to be adding to that pack when I do the Alpha 3, so it's great. And I will actually send the Sorcerer's soft clipper out to everybody who has centerfold today or tomorrow, because it's really, really cool, and I think everybody should have it right away. Step 5 is managing percussive energy. Be careful where you place those big sounds because they're going to determine the overall bounce, so you need to be deliberate. Step 6 is the TM88 school of hi-hat programming. I just think that if you want to study good hi-hats, go listen to any production by TM88. I just think he's one of the best drum programmers doing this shit right now. So, and then step 7 is the level 1 tension spell. And that's just going through your arrangement, but this time thinking about it, not just, okay, this is intro, this is hook, this is verse, but like really thinking, where can I build and release tension? Because that's almost way more important than, just sectioning it out just for the sake of sectioning it out. That's not useful, right? And so if you do want to learn more about arrangement, that's great, because the next video based off of this project is going to be tension level 2, and we'll get into a bunch of other things you can do on the production engineering side to really make your arrangement way more interesting and make the way you play with tension in your beats way more fun and interesting for both you and the listener. So again, I hope this was very helpful. I hope it was valuable. I hope you learned a lot. Drop some questions below. I'll see you in the next one. I love you so much. Peace.